Hi, everybody. I am Darla Reborn, just sitting here on a relaxing Sunday afternoon in my room reflecting, and I want to share some thoughts with you. Um, for those of you who are pregnant and are wanting to have a natural birth, I want to give you some tips that help me have my natural birth, and hopefully they can be a blessing to you as well. All right, here we go. So you want to give birth in the hospital, but you want it to be a natural birth. Um, this is what you have to think about. Number one, you're having birth in a hospital. Do your research. Educate yourself about the hospital in which you'll be giving birth. What are their procedures from start to finish? From the time that you are admitted into the hospital until the time you're discharged. What are their procedures from top to bottom? All right. Know their practice. Know their reputation in the community. Ask people around you what their experiences have been like, if you can. All right. So educate yourself. Number two, know if your doctor will be present at the birth. I know for me, the doctor that I had, the OB that I had for both of my children, the way his office ran, he was the only OB. And for the first birth, he was present. The second one, I gave birth on the only day he was not available. So it's good to know who will be there to stand in for your doctor if they won't be present. And then know that doctor, know their reputation. It just so happened that my doctor, who's very old school and also knew how to give birth, know how to help deliver children who were, I just completely forgot the term for when a child is upside down, but you know what I mean. He knew how to give birth and knew how to deliver children who were upside down. I don't know why I can't think of the term, but I wanted that. I wanted to have a doctor who would not just opt to put me in surgery. And it just so happened that the doctor that I gave birth with my daughter, the second child, he was a doctor who was known for his C-sections. He basically was an emergency type situation OBGYN. I don't know the particular term for it, but he was used to dealing with women in stress and anxiety. And the moment that he came into the room after I had given birth to a 9-pound, 9-ounce baby, he was telling me that I could have a baby that's too big for my body and that I might need to opt for a C-section. So he immediately put the stress on. I was 9 centimeters dilated, and he told me that, the baby was too high up for me to be that far into labor, and we might have to, speed things up. So he was immediately trying to control the process. Needless to say, well, I shouldn't say needless to say, but just a few moments, literally not even 20 minutes after he told me my baby was too high, my child was born. And he wasn't even actually in the room. So, I didn't mean to give the story, but the whole idea is you want to know who will be there, who will be present, and what their reputations are, because that will impact the process, obviously. All right, so moving forward, know and have your birth plan, all right? Not only have it on you, but have it in your mind, and be ready and willing to refer back to your wishes if necessary. In addition to that, have support present who will also back your birth plan. I was blessed at my hospital that even though the OB who was there was kind of not really honoring or paying attention to my wishes, the nurses were 100% behind me. They could constantly reminded each other and the doctor where I stood and what I wanted, and they honored that. But I was also ready to say at any moment, hey, this is what I want. These are my wishes. Another thing right on there that I just remembered is understand that your consent is necessary. Nothing should be taking place in the birth room that you do not agree with, that you're not comfortable with. Don't be afraid to speak your mind, to voice your opinions, to voice your needs, your discomforts, your wishes. Another instance, I was in the room I had been in labor in the hospital. I was actually 7 centimeters when I went in. And that's another thing, another quick tip. If you want to give birth in the hospital, don't go in as early as possible. The moment you have contractions, don't just head to the hospital. I know with my first child, I think I was actually 8 centimeters when I went into the hospital early in the morning, but he wasn't born until late. He was anterior. He had to flip around. But I waited until my contractions were like 5 minutes apart. Now that's against the advice that you're given, and you don't know how early you go into labor. But my concern was if I went into the hospital too early, they'd be trying to push me along. But thankfully, they were very patient with the process. They respected my wishes, and everything went very well. But for me, I wanted to go in as late as possible to not be a part of them trying to push me. I didn't want that. But anyway, as I was trying to say before, have support for your birth plan and be willing to voice your wishes. Don't be uncomfortable. I hope you all can't hear my baby. She just woke up from her nap and my husband's getting her now. But know that your consent is necessary. If at any time you feel uncomfortable with anything, don't be afraid. Now, the doctor who I had, he came in the room, and when he came in, which I hate, when you're in the middle of a contraction and somebody's trying to talk to you, like, really? Who's going to talk to you while you're in a contraction? And I was 9 centimeters dilated, so it was a real heavy. Anyway, in the middle of my contraction, this doctor presses down on my stomach, and it hurt. And you already know all the intensity that's going on in your abdomen. He comes down pushing, and I told him immediately, I said, please don't do that. And he released, like he backed off. And then, like, not even 2 seconds later, he put his hand back on my belly and began to push down again. I immediately said, again, please do not touch my belly. You know, like, another thing, you know, this particular doctor was kind of on pushy mode. He was not very sensitive, or, you know, his bedside manner was just lacking. Just put it that way. Well, while my husband was in the bathroom, he sent an anesthesiologist into the room. I didn't know this person. This person also kind of had a poor bedside manner because he didn't really introduce himself or say what he was doing. He walked up to me and grabbed my arm. He didn't snatch it or anything, but he looked at my arm, flipped it over, and I asked him what he was doing. And he said he was looking for a vein just in case I'd have to go in for an emergency C-section. And at this moment, I felt my anxiety go up. And I was just like keeping myself calm, and I was like, that won't be necessary. And with that, he left the room. But just be clear that your wishes are what matters. Another thing, after I gave birth to my child and I opted against the vitamin K shot as well as every immunization they tried to offer or whatever they did, a doctor came in and tried to kind of suggest that not getting that shot would be abusive to my child. And once again, if you don't want it, if it goes against your wishes, do not be afraid to self-advocate. I'm going to move forward because I think I'm beating a dead horse with that one, all right? Have an element present in the room to help soothe you. If you have to dim the lights, I know for me at the hospital, which was a very comfortable hospital, by the way, they had a television with music, and we found that station and put the soothing music on that really created a wonderfully calming ambiance while I was laboring in the room. So have something present to soothe you, whatever that might be, even if the person, you know, if it's music, just whatever will help to create an environment that you can feel comfortable laboring in. All right. Even that, if that involves elements like a ball to sit on, or, you know, an exercise ball. I had one the first time I labored. But anyway, be comfortable and confident in yourself. Know what you're doing and why. don't be afraid to just voice your needs, your opinions, and your feelings. Know why you are having a natural birth. Understand what that is for you, and be confident in that. And finally, I just want to say this: be prepared to teach. This might sound weird, it might be awkward, but you may very well be one of the few people, maybe even one of the first people, that your medical professionals have seen labor naturally. That might sound weird, but so many people opt for any type of medication or anything that you may be very odd. You know, your situation kind of may be like counterculture. And for someone like me, my birth plan was very specific. Like, for example, I didn't want a is it a hep lock? Yeah, I didn't want a hep lock. I didn't want, I wanted intermittent heart monitoring. I wanted minimal vaginal exams. I opted not to have my water broken. I didn't want any assistance in pushing. I wanted there to be, I can't think of the term for it, but I wanted them to wait to cut the cord until it stopped pulsating. I wanted my child to be immediately put on my chest. I wanted everything done in the room. There were a lot of things that I wanted because I wanted to be connected to the process. Like, I wanted my, I can't think of any term today, but I wanted my, my afterbirth to be delivered naturally. And the hospital was very supportive, but for some of them, they weren't even used to, like, I wanted to encapsulate my thing. I can't remember it, but I'll post it. You know what I'm talking about. They weren't used to, they didn't even know what to do to keep it. It was so a lot of what happened with me that day and both of my labors were very odd compared to what they were used to. For my first birth, my son was the heaviest baby born that day. He was 9 pounds and over 9 ounces and almost 10 pounds. He was 21.5 inches long, and he was natural. And I was I think the only person who gave birth naturally that day or during that time frame. And so people were just watching. They were in shock when I was in labor, and I was calm, and I wasn't yelling, and I wasn't cussing, and I wasn't losing it. I was very much under observation. So I said all that to say that when you're giving birth, know that naturally in the hospital, that you might be kind of like a template by which future natural births will be kind of judged and determined. So just be confident, be comfortable, and know why you're doing it, what you're doing for yourself, your body, and your baby, and own the process. It is your body, it is your baby, and it's a beautiful thing. So embrace it, breathe, and just take good care of yourself. Best of luck and best wishes and blessings to you.